Hi there, and welcome to Guys Connect. Today we're doing a special one, and we're doing it in collaboration with Light on the Hill Church because it's Father's Day. To do this, I have my co-host Toby Alishe,
Hi,
and
Josh. Good afternoon.
thanks so much for being here, man. So have fun with it. We're discussing real issues as they affect men, and would really love you to enjoy a good time. Like, comment, and share. Once again, happy Father's Day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day,
Thank
guys
you.
to be. Happy
Thank
Father's
you
to
very
be.
much.
Right. So, I'd like us to start off with just defining the concept. Who or what is a man? What comes to your mind when you hear men? I'd like to start with anyone that wants to take a stab at it.
Okay. Good morning, church.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Okay, for me this morning, I think a man is someone who has grown to taking responsibility mentally, spiritually, and otherwise. Now, why I say so is that, for example, the life of a man is a life that requires giving. A
Yeah.
man is a giver. A man is a giver. Take
Right.
it or you leave it. So the one who had come of age in his mind to understand that it is time to begin to give either materially, mentally, or spiritually has become a man.
All right. That's profound. I feel like it's a lot of depth there, but please go ahead, PS. You look like you want to say.
Okay, I think just to write on that, it's quite important to do a distinction between who is a man and being male, because one is just a gender, you know, distinction, male, female. But when you say men or father, one could be tempted to limit that to the biological aspect of it. You'll be able to give back to a child that makes you a father. No, but that there is more to that. It requires your ability to, like you said, to be sacrificial, your ability to be very thoughtful and resourceful. And I use that resourceful because when God created man, the first thing he gave him was to give him an assignment to not just name the animals, but also have a ground to till and do other stuff within the garden. So one of the moments you get to the point where you have come of age mentally, I use the word mentally, not chronologically, mentally, psychologically, and also have be resourceful in terms of you are what you are doing. It doesn't have to be working in an office. It could be a job. It could be a business. Something that, because like you said, for you to fulfill the giving part, not just the time and everything, the resource also has to be there. So you have that resource to be able to meet those needs. It's not just about the number, how much you have, but also critically, you're able to meet those critical needs. There are bills to be paid, there are time to be spent, there are projects to be done, and you need that. So that I want to put that first. You come to mental maturity, and then the other things follows.
Okay. PK.
Man, not father now, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, it's a question of maturity. Someone who has developed from just being a male to being able to take responsibility, like they have said.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, pastors and our fathers. So, I mean, if in summary, if I'm to put everything together, you mentioned mental maturity. You mentioned, both of you actually mentioned something about responsibilities.
I'm giving.
So, yeah, and then giving. So, are we saying that until a man can actually, until we say that a man is, I mean, a person is responsible, is that at that point, is that the time we actually say that person has become a man? So, which means if a child of, say, 15 years is already responsible for his siblings, are we saying that that person has become a man?
I think at that age, you want to look at the age part, but I want to also say that looking at age, you might say he's not yet a man, but in his mind, he has grown to becoming a man. So you, in such instance, you find him, doing things ordinarily that his age will not do. I take myself an example. I remember when My mom was to go back to school, and then because of the nature of my father's job, I had to take care of my kids. And at some point, I saw myself, coming up with this enthusiasm inside of me, wanting to protect them as if they are my own children.
Your siblings.
As your
That's
siblings.
your
Yes.
siblings.
So I began to see myself like a father to them,
Them,
just like the way I feel about my kids now. So I discovered that in my mind, I was always thinking about them, wanting to give them the best, always wanting to protect them and to guide them through all they need to do. So even if a child of 15 begins to take responsibility that a man should take, and he's able to do it well and fitting into that position, he has grown in his mind to becoming a man. And that's a quick process which will also help him as he grows in age to become a man. You now find him more versatile and stronger than any of his age mates who didn't grow up in their mind becoming a man as quick as he did.
All right. I don't know if. Thank
Yeah,
you very
ju-
much.
just to add to it, I think it's very, very correct. I just want to add a caveat that if it's also important that such person who find themselves in what I call circumstantial manhood, because you become a man because of the circumstance that you find yourself, you also need somebody to anchor on. Because what that means that while you are taking on the responsibility, you can lose the process of becoming a man. So we've seen people who skip. It's like skipping classes. So you get to a point where unconsciously you are reverting. I don't want to use a popular musician of blessed memory who became we know him as a popular pop star, Michael Jackson, became a man quickly because he was the one solo. But after a while, when he actually now became the man, there's this childish feelings, those experiences that you miss that the body wants or the soul
I was
wants to
going to even
demand.
ask
So that's why I
about
said that
that.
you need. So that's why where you need that you can become a man very early because of circumstances, but it's also better for your mental balancing to have, and even spiritual, to have that anchor, maybe a mentor or somebody who is able to help you, decipher some of those skit
Alright.
sessions.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll just throw this question to PK. It's still the continuation to the question I asked just now. So and I then want to ask. So at what point does a boy become a man? Is there an in between?
So two questions there.
Yeah.
At what point, and then is there an in between?
Is there
So
an in-between?
at the point of maturity, you see, biologically, a man is an adult male. So we need to put that caveat on
Yeah.
it. A man is somebody who has reached puberty and has reached a point maybe 18, 19 biologically, demographically. So that's different. What we're defining here is maturity in the sense of responsibility. So I think when a person is able to grow up to be physically mature, emotionally mature, and then in many cases also financially okay. Because man in this sense of discussion is about responsibility to us from this context that we're sharing it. So in between, yes, when from being a boy, you have to go through the adolescent stage, and then that's around your teenage years. Then you are a young adult. That's why they carve that out. You are not quite a man yet, but you are not also a child. So you are not just a boy. So you are figuring out how do men behave. Who are now your brain is mature enough to ask questions about what kind of man you want to become. That's not a child. A child is just free, he's just playing, he's just enjoying himself. But at this gap, you are trying to think what a man or manhood entails. So that's a gap I think exists, and many people get confused in that area. That's where the mentorship comes.
Okay,
Alright,
so
thank you.
So thank you for that, because I was going to highlight something. Now, we've mentioned circumstantial men.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned men that, grew the natural way and became responsible and all of those.
Yeah.
And we've also given context to the biological side of it. Sometimes it's cultural, sometimes it's otherwise. But my question is, as fathers, and I'm thankful that you all have children, there's that child development phase where they're going, like you rightly mentioned, PK, from one to another to another. I'd like to ask, for the boy child now, we get to hear a lot about the female folk. Oh, they should be like this, they should dress modestly, they should do this, they should do that. What about the boys? What are those particular things, maybe top 3 or top 5 things that must feature in the development of boys so that they don't become, if the option does not, if situation doesn't present itself, circumstantial fathers, or they don't have all of those rebellious things that then feeds into vices in society and
Yeah.
all of those things. So my question is, in all of those developmental stages, what are the things that are key, so important, that a boy must experience so that he grows the right way?
Okay.
It can be
No,
anybody.
you guys avoid that. No, that should take that first.
We start.
Okay, I think for a boy child, the way we should be growing a boy child definitely will be different from a girl child. And I think one of the things we paint to a boy child from the beginning is, first, for me, you must knock out a lazy mentality. There's this a notion from children that if you don't push them, they don't want to do things. And then if you are lucky to have the two of them, I want to believe that you don't place the two of them on the same mentorship. Now, for me, I want to speak for myself. How I would love to train a male child, and thank God all I have are male kids. And that has been my life, and that was how I was trained. I like to see a male child being nurtured on time from early stage to understand that, first, laziness is not to be condoned around you. That's one. You also must maintain sanity with your lifestyle. Lifestyle must be put in check. I take myself for an example. People ask me, why is my life revolve around 3 major places? My home, my work, and the church. And it is because of the way I was raised. Now, I tell people that the more you keep to yourself, the better you save yourself from issues of life. I have friends that ordinarily, let's say it's weekend, they might want to hang out, they want to be at a party.
We
they
call
want
it
to do
flex.
One, they want to flex, thank you. The language, they want to flex. Yes, there is nothing bad about that. But we've seen cases in the process of flex or flexing. Issues
Escalation.
happen. But if I go to my work, I close. I go to church, I close. I go back to my home. That issue that is going to happen to them there, I'm not a part of it. So one of the things I will do is to check my kids to understand how to prioritize their movement. Getting to understand that when it is not important, then it is not important. So they must know that laziness is not condoned. They must be able to
Sanity,
check their
lifestyle.
movement and lifestyle. And above it all, they must learn truth and contentment.
Truth
But
and
it has a
contentment.
way to make a man search or seek for what he doesn't need. There's difference between what you need and what you want.
All right, let me quickly jump in there. So, I mean, I'm a very social person.
Okay.
So, so I mean, you just talked about flexing and children or
Chopping
individuals
life,
basically keeping to themselves. So, are we taking out the social life out of their development?
Now, if you say social life, what kind of social life? I give you an example. Yesterday, I was discussing with a young man who went to a party with his friends, and that was on a Friday, and I met him yesterday, being Saturday, with bruises all over his head, and the thing almost affected his eyes. So what happened? Our friends had birthday party, and we all invited them. So it was at a hotel. They rented a hall at a hotel where they needed to party together, and they got drinking, and in the process, they got fighting, and he was, brutally injured. Now, the first question I asked myself, in the process of that fight, if he had lost it, because the whole eyes went black, if he had lost his eyes, eventually the issues will be resolved. Are you getting me? But the eyes is gone and gone forever. Are you understanding me? So, but take it that if he had sat quietly in his house, that will not come and meet him. You understand me? So those are the checks I'm looking at. But if your social gathering are reasonable, responsible people, church social gathering and all of that, it is welcome. But quote and unquote, this generation now, the flexing they know, the social gathering of now is where they can go and mix A plus B and it becomes C, and you need. They
For
call
those
it
that
high
understand
net.
maths.
Science students everywhere.
About it. You understand me? And one of the things the young man said was that, the quarrel happened when he has started feeling funny, he has not eaten, and the drink has started getting into him. So he said, let's go home. And in that process, a lady spoke to him the way he doesn't want or he doesn't like. Then he responded, and before you knew it, the quarrel started and all of that. But that won't happen to me if I'm not the party type. So you can do your social gathering.
So just
But
to add to
please,
it, sorry, just to add
beware of
to
your
it, so
social
that
gatherings.
we don't it doesn't seem as if we're saying those, but I get
No.
I am like that to it. So such but I also believe that men we should socialize, okay? Because but also what I think is just added, which I like, is the kind of people you hang out with is very critical.
Yeah.
Because you get mixed up with the wrong crowd, and you definitely are going to pick the wrong people. Will tell you, nobody can influence me. I know it's a lie. It's either you are being influenced or you're the one doing the influencing.
Yes, sir.
So something's got to give at the end of the day. So sorry, I'm not sure PK ever responded fully to the boy.
Yeah. That's the next. I wanted to allow him learn. Okay, so when you're raising boys, you're having men at the back of your mind. So you're raising boys to become men. You're raising girls to become women. So that is one of the things that inform how I raise the boys, which is I will group the things of strength, courage, boldness into one box. That is a must. You must develop strength. You must develop boldness and courage. And I've pushed them into it, and I've seen that they are mastering that. I go to their school one day. I went there. I picked the boy up. And while we're trying to come out, one of his friends was trying to get his attention to something else. So, and that was the first time. Typically, he's trying to hold his own. But this day, I saw that the guy was really trying to pull his attention to, let's go to the biology, what's it called now, geographical garden, and all, come now. Of course, I had to take him up after that and say, so you are on your way home. You have a direction. Someone else should not in any way be able to distract you, because that's not the thing at that time. If it's for a good thing, yes. And he got it. And I saw that. So all that times I've seen him handle things better than that. So you have to, because you see, these children in church, they are raised to the best of our capacity. When you go out there, there are a lot of things happening. So you should be the one influencing them as much as possible. Not because you want to, or because you think you want to lord it over them. It's because I believe that you have something better to offer. Mm-hmm. That's that. On strength, courage, boldness is a given. The second thing where I'm going to stop because of our time is lately I've picked up the issues of I've observed it in them and I've taken it up, and I call it a handling failure. So in his former school, they were just 4 in class, primary 6, primary 5 coming out of primary school, always takes first position. Now he got into a new school where there are 27 in class. And the first time he got, I think, 5th position. I was like, well, I understand with you, because now you are no longer a local champion. You're dealing with more people. So he knew that I wanted him to do better. So in the next time he got 4th. So you are doing well.
Pushing pace.
And then, but then in the 3rd time I got to his school to collect his result, he couldn't go. And I saw 6th. And I knew this boy will not like this, because I know that he also wants to do better. This is so important because I saw something I had to quickly begin to address, especially because of this generation, the way they handle failure. But then I had to tell the teacher, please let me check his script well. I know he does well. He tries his best. So good enough for us. Teacher found out that there's a particular subject. He will remind me, I've forgotten which now. We were supposed to have 68 or so in the exam.
Okay.
And then so they recorded like 28.
How
so
now?
Somehow they just saw it. He took it to the computer. I waited. I said, we must resolve this. Took it to the computer room. As they adjusted it, automatically, he just came to 3rd position. I said, okay, now he'll be happy with this.
Great.
I got him. And the way he was eagerly waiting for me that day, I'm like, hey, so I need to calm down. I was calm down. You have thought that, but I'll tell you how you got the 3rd. But then recently I had to start telling them, guys, even if you got the 6th, all right, you can do better than that, but we are not going to do anything bad to you, and we have not failed, because we have to balance things up. This generation can't even handle failure. So what I'm treating lately, there are a lot of things about greatness, about choice, and they are the one who even taught me choice. I've given the example before. One day that we're offering them maybe apple and carrot, and we're so excited to say, guys, pick one out of these two. And they said, no, I want watermelon. So, okay, so I brought two options to you, and you're telling me what you want is even outside the two options I've given to you.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I encourage that. And I said, okay, don't go out there feeling as if you have to take anything and everything they offer to you. Have a
Word.
sense of choice.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I encourage that. I
Yeah.
feel that in them. So this thing on failure, that's the last thing we treated. Like last week, I said, guys, you may not win every time. That does not mean you are a failure.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to a point in your life, like it says dad's friend, and then you now feel like, oh, because we don't pass this exam, then you're now going to harm yourself.
So-
Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Because you're not a failure. Failure is an event. It's not you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
P.S. I know you may want to say, I know you may want to say something about failure, right? But I'd like you to talk about. I mean, you're the only one here that has that complement of the female folk.
Yeah.
You are blessed among women.
5.
So I from your purview of a protector, a provider,
Yeah.
all of the things we've said earlier, when you look at your female should I say children and relatives, people very dear to you,
Yeah.
what would you want to see from a man? And I'm saying this because there are ladies in the house.
Yeah.
What would you want to see from a man in terms of his development to make you comfortable enough to allow him around those ladies, or even to hand one over to an approaching guy?
Okay, thank you very much, and I like that because one of my daughters said the first time she brought fiancé home that I looked like I was going to chase them, well, it wasn't intentional. But the truth is that we live in a generation, and I think I'm happy when I see men, women who have boy children are putting deliberate effort. I used to have a colleague who say, I just want to have boy children so that I don't need to stress myself, because if I have girl children, they can get pregnant and all that. You can see the sense of, I don't want to do so much work. Because if it's a boy, everything that happens, it won't be on my head. It won't be on the boy's head 100%. Usually who is going to get pregnant, who's going to drop out of school is the girl, right?
Yeah.
Not the boy. It's probably
Yeah.
goes to the highest. They will say be responsible for the baby, the highest. Some will not even bother. So I'm very deliberate. First of all, I start with the girls, then to the boys I mentor. To the girls I have, or the ones I mentor, is first of all, become that person that cannot be refused. Become that person that cannot be subjugated. Now, I'm not saying feminism. I'm saying become you. Be full in you in terms of you know yourself.
That's as a lady.
As a lady first.
Know yourself.
Yes, it's very important, because the
Okay.
truth is that in the quest for love, in the quest to be loved, you are unconsciously settling. It's deep. Now, back, don't worry, we'll unpack that. So, but when you know yourself, it's very important that settling doesn't become an option for you, because you look for somebody who complements who you are. Just like the man too, you are looking for somebody who is a helpmate. So you're not subservient. I'm not saying not submitting, not subservient. A master is not a master-servant relationship.
Yeah.
It's a master assistant or partnership.
Yeah.
There's the head, but there's in partnership. Even if you have co-founder, there's someone leading at the point.
Yeah.
Now, to the boys, very important that you understand from the scripture. It's very scriptural. So when I was a child, I thought like a child. When I became a man, first of all, I tell men, learn how to throw away childish things to become a man, because your life. I like what he started with. Is a life of responsibility, not responsibility about paying bills. Responsibility, you are responsible for somebody else. It's not just about you. You can't just wake up and do whatever you like. Again, you are responsible for other people, because the traction or how you live your life, you can derail somebody else's life. So when I see people raise their girl child and not bother about the boy child, I say you are raising a good girl to be destroyed by a bad boy.
That's right.
So we have to consciously balance the two, so that you don't all what you build over the years is not crashed down by somebody in inaction or somebody misbehaving. So it's very important that I tell boys first of all, learn responsibility, not just because in this part of the world, when you say responsibility, it just be once I earn money. That means no, that is probably 10% of the entire thing. Learn responsibility for yourself, for your life, for the life of other people, because your life is going to be sacrificial. Because that's why Christ said that you are going to give, just like Christ gave his life for the church. You have to get to a point where you become mature enough enough that you're able to give your life for your family.
Very well.
Thank you.
Those are
very
actually
much.
very powerful points. Toby, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Please, I mean, a round of applause to them. Okay.
So, men, your job now, sacrifice.
Yes, please. Just to
I don't know.
to
Yeah,
add
please,
to what he said about
please, yeah.
responsibility. Money is good, but you see, there's a whole lot more. I mean, that was day before yesterday. The older one was taking something for me downstairs, just taking it out for me. But his hand was full, so the younger one jumped from the bed and went to the door to open it,
Yeah.
so that the guy will be able to just
Yeah.
have a thoroughfare. So the mom was impressed and said, "Wow, that's responsible of you."
Yeah.
I said, "Yes, that is very responsible." Because that's the sense of, this thing is not supposed to be there. Pick it up. Something is wrong. Fix it. All right. Take
Yeah.
care of it.
Yeah.
So
That's responsibility.
because this day is not about how much money does he have. Somebody can have money and not be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Please say that point again. Say it again.
You
Yeah.
can have money and not be responsible.
Yeah.
So responsibility comes first. When the money now comes, that sense of responsibility now shows you how to use the money responsibly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I think someone was shouting in the back. It doesn't mean you should not have money.
Of course.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Who said that?
please have money.
Who
Please.
said that?
It's Deborah.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Last week you talked about soft life.
Yeah.
Today is money. Don't worry. You'll have meeting after. Money is good.
Thank you
But be
very much.
responsible with it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. So this next question, I actually want to have our personal experiences.
Okay.
I would really, really love everyone to listen to you, and it's all about toughening up, right? We understand that toughening up is actually tough. Like, it's not something that comes easy, right? So the question is, what challenges actually forced you to significantly evolve to being a man? So let me start with Pastor Stoba.
Okay. I think if we look at it with life, there were a lot of challenges. Since you say our personal experience,
Yes,
so I
personal
might not want to
experience.
share all,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there might be so much.
Please
Because,
share.
Yeah.
A significant one.
we passed through a lot to hear. As a man, one of the things that actually changed my perspective about life were things that happened to me, and they made me to begin to understand that for everything I must do or that I want to do, I must be ready and make sure every loopholes are fixed before venturing into them. And one of the things I put as number one priority is that I don't want to depend on anybody to solve problems in life. Not because it will not be necessary and not because it is not good. But I toughened up because I looked at myself as someone who should be providing, or who should be a solution provider. And just like we talked about
Extractors and
yesterday,
creators.
so I shouldn't just be waiting to extract from people. So along life, I had one or two issues that actually dealt with me and then took my mind to such levels, which I think I'll just share maybe only one.
Yeah, just the
of
high
it.
level.
Just
it's
the-
fine.
Yes, one of it. I remember the child we had after TY, which was supposed to be older than our bishop.
Bishop, yeah.
It was a time in my life where things were down. So things were down, and then along the line, we visited the hospital and we had one or two to do because there were some complications during that time. And it looks like money was not enough. So let's just put it out there straight. Money was not enough. So I had to call a friend and say, please, can you just loan me so amount and give me a little time so that I can, send the money back to you. And then this is somebody I thought I had done a lot for, I had helped in various ways that I think he should. There are ways you help somebody, you are not giving money. But when you look at it, you have given money.
Mhm.
Say, for example, you have something you want to do now.
Yeah.
And then I'm to do that thing for you and you have to pay me. But you do not have money to do it now. But I'm doing it for you to take and get money. And when you get money, you pay me. So automatically, I've given you money because I've invested my own cash into you. So a lot of such transactions had gone between us, which I think that should be a check for him to do the needful. And then he turned back and told me that he doesn't mean anything bad, but if I want our friendship, to be well fostered, I should take away the issue of money.
Huh?
You understand?
No.
Yes.
Someone was the
My,
understand.
my wife was aware of that. it was, we were on the phone. It was on speak out. So that thing got to me, and at that point, he was the last person I could call. So when that came, it weakened me. It turned me down, and then we went back home, trusting God that Lord, have your way. And we didn't do any of those tests. We didn't go for any further treatment. Eventually, we had that child, and we lost that child.
I'm so sorry.
Now, what that brought to me was that I now told myself, I said, whatever I need to do, I must plan it ahead. I will not venture into anything I have not planned. I must look at the possibilities of scaling through it, and I must also look at the hurdles before me, which might be the barriers, and how to, overcome them. If I'm not getting it right, I'm not venturing into it. And that led me into making sure that the two young ones you saw after that child, let me use the best word to use. Before I looked up to my wife, I say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Before I looked at my wife, I didn't tell her this the first time. I had to go to a very good hospital. I didn't just go and ask them, what does it take? I went to their private wing, which is, they call it, what do they call it? The VIP.
Oh, okay.
What will it take to register a woman for antenatal?
Responsibility. Please. This is actually the responsibility.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And the moment I was able to get those bills, I told myself, young man, before the beauty comes to your eye as the beholder, put your hands to work. And now look at it. Yeah. We talked about toughening up. I didn't just, that didn't just motivate me to look for money to solve this problem, but I was looking at solving this problem in a better way. So I didn't just go to the hospital to ask what it will take me to register for antenatal and other stuff, but I rather went to the VIP where things will be better off than even the one ordinarily I would have worked for. Sure. You understand me? Yeah. So, and all of that put together taught me to deal with myself on knowing how to plan myself over the things I want to do. Yeah. And that is why if you are very close to me and you are around my life, we discover that I hardly ask people for something. Not because I don't have need, or not because I don't like also, being straight hands too. Right. But I told myself the fact that I must diligently look at things I want to do and must do them well. And that has also helped me even in my business and a lot of things I have been doing.
That's strong. That's very strong. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Hi, my name is Seth Ongwemi. People call me PS. I'm excited to let you know that this is an exciting new season for us at the Guys Connect. Join me and Kyle Brimo or PK as we bring new topics, exciting topics, men-centric topics that affect men and people around them. Join us and other guys, new faces and old faces, as we discuss this exciting topic. It's going to be a very, very good time where we'll hear on topic mental health issue, relationship, money, and many other that affect men, and not just men, issues that affect even people, the ladies in their life. Please remember to join us, the Guys Connect, on YouTube and also on Instagram. Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you. Like, share, subscribe, and please turn on your notifications as new episode drops so that you can be one of the first people to get them. Thank you very much. See you next time.